A good thought from Jonsquill Ministries. Is God humble? By Dr. Elizabeth Noel, Women's Corner Editor. Humble is the root word of humility, something God asks Christians to display. When wondering if we are to be Christ-like, we must wonder if God is humble. This can be a pointed question among many, but I would like you to entertain me for a moment and consider the levels of humbleness in God. We will consider the 3 definitions of humble found in Merriam-Webster's dictionary, which is still considered one of the most prominent and encompassing dictionaries available. The 3 definitions are: 1. Ranking low in a hierarchy or scale, not costly or luxurious. 2. Reflecting, expressing, or offered in a spirit of deference or submission. 3. Not proud or haughty, not arrogant or assertive. Let's tackle each of these definitions as we look at our Bible for references. For those first 2 definitions, we readily see the humble nature of the man God, Jesus. But I want to understand the humble nature of God the Father. First, we think of Jesus and his humility on earth. While his conception was a miracle, Jesus was born in the natural way of man. He grew into adulthood like any other child, learning milestones of growth along the way. He worked alongside his earthly father, Joseph, in carpentry. He didn't glow or float or anything significant beyond that of any normal man. But in John 12 verse 23, and Jesus answered them, saying, "The hour is come, that the Son of Man should be glorified." Up until this point, Jesus wasn't making any notification of being high-ranking among men. He was not luxurious or royal in any way. He simply lived as any other man on earth. He humbled himself to know his people and the plight that they faced in our world. Next, offering oneself in a spirit of deference and submission is the exact work of God, bringing forth his Son on earth to be the submission for sin. Here we see the humble sacrifice of both God the Father and Jesus. Jesus Christ separating from the Father to come and be the perfect Lamb shows that not only was Jesus submitting himself, but God the Father was submitting a part of his own Godhead to be offered in the spirit of deference. Often, we think of Jesus as the submission portion of the Godhead, but remember Christ said in John 14 verse 9, "He that hath seen me hath seen the Father." With that context in mind from Jesus himself, you must also see the humbleness of God the Father in the offering of his only Son as the atonement for the world's sins. The third definition is the one which, to me, really shows us that our Father is humble. I want to focus on the idea of not being arrogant or assertive. God is all-powerful and all-knowing. He has authority over all the earth and everything in it. With this concept in mind, let us look at 1 Timothy 2 verse 4, which states of God, who will have all men to be saved, and to come unto the knowledge of truth. In this passage, we see the desire of God that all men should be saved. He has the authority to make that happen, but instead gives up the power of choice to humans. Each person can come to him and build a relationship with him. This power is given by the Father to man. This is an act of humility. To give one's power to another is humble. God has the power to determine each man's path, but he allows choice. He humbles himself and his power to allow a man to determine the relationship he will have with God. To me, this shows a great amount of humility. If an ordinary man were given such power of control over others, could he be humble enough to give that power to another? It shows how God demonstrates to us that he is humble and not arrogant over the amazing power which he possesses. Ultimately, many people think of being humble as having a lower stance on things. You take the high road and don't concern yourself with things of the magnitude of nature. You show that you are kind and loving in action and show that flashiness is not the aim of your success. You give credit for your success to God in a humble manner. I feel God demonstrates the same humble manner to us in his giving the power of choice in our relationship with him. He forgoes his authority to allow men to choose a life that is surrendered to him rather than force a surrender due to his desire that all men have a relationship with him. I hope in that context, you can continue to strive to be humble like our Father and his Son have demonstrated to us. If you have been blessed by this video, click the like button. Also, be sure to subscribe and click the notification button so you can know when we post new content. To learn more about us, visit our website at www.jonsquillministries.net and to request to be subscribed to our free email articles, communicate with us at jonsquillministries@yahoo.com.